What an absolutely beautiful day it is here on this Saturday in Delray Beach, Florida. Hey everybody, I'm Palm Beach's Paul, your local realtor and guide to Southfield Living, and welcome back to my channel. So it is 81 degrees, there's not a cloud in the sky, and it is an absolutely picture perfect day here in Florida. One of the many reasons why I live here and why so many others decide to make Florida their home. I can actually hear music in the background because there's the green market going on here at downtown Delray Beach. I think there's a carnival over the church just a few blocks away, and everyone's out enjoying the South Florida lifestyle. And it is pretty perfect. But as a local real estate agent, I would be lying if I told you it's always like this and it's always perfect. And yes, Florida does have lots of charming cities like Delray Beach with neighborhoods like this, with historical homes, which is Bankers Row here in Delray Beach, and Cannery Row with these beautiful luxury townhomes, and all the little cities that have the beaches and restaurants and shopping that's within walking distance. All that is true. But today I'm going to tell you a couple things that not too many people will tell you. And if you're thinking of moving to Florida and you don't take these 10 things that I'm going to tell you into consideration, you may regret moving here. And the first one is the weather. So as you can see, I'm wearing this nice, cool Florida fishing shirt. It's got palm trees on it. It's nice and comfortable, very breezy, and it's a quick dry, so when I start to sweat, it's not too bad. And that is because it's already starting to heat up around here, and I didn't want to wear one of my typical t-shirts, which I would already be sweating in by now from riding my bike. And as I said, the weather's nice right now, but in another month, it is going to be absolutely horrible outside. And it stays that way for about 6 months, all the way to probably November. It is hot and humid, and I'm not talking just regular tropical hot, like warm weather. I'm talking about high 90s with 100% humidity, and you walk outside your front door and go to the mailbox and you're already sweating. That kind of hot. The kind of hot that you just don't want to be outside to do anything. And the only time you do go outside is to run errands, and it's from an air-conditioned car to an air-conditioned building. And that weather starts right around May. As I said, it's beautiful today, but we're kind of coming out of our, what I call paradise weather, into summertime weather. It's late April, and it's gonna be May, just literally next week. And well, in June, we roll into hurricane season, which I would say is a second thing that people don't think about when they move to Florida, one of the things that they regret. We're gonna tie weather and hurricanes 1 and 2 together. So you have this oppressive heat that basically lasts for 6 to 7 months in Florida, with rainstorms, torrential rainstorms during the summer, lightning. Don't forget, Florida's lightning capital of the world. And so your outdoor activities can get shut down real quick, not only because of the rain, but lightning's dangerous. There's at least almost a person a year that gets hit and possibly dies from lightning here in Florida. And you have to be cautious of that, especially if you're out golfing. Like I just recently took up golf, and I'm gonna be out playing golf, and well, the rainstorms roll in. You don't want to be like the priest on Caddyshack, you know, holding your 7-iron up, shaking at God, a metal lightning rod when it's lightning outside. So you have to take cover. So you have to really think about that. So the weather in Florida can be pretty deadly. And if it's not deadly, it's super annoying because the rain is just really heavy downpours in the summer. And then it goes away. And the sun comes back out, but then it's like someone turned on the sauna and you are just sweating nonstop. So, but the good thing, there's lots of AC in Florida. All these new modern homes and condos and hotels and places all have AC in them, most of them anyway. And we have 47 miles of beautiful beach where you can go out and go swimming in the ocean and jump in the ocean and cool off. So you got that going for you, as well as all the other coastline here in the state of Florida where you could go jump in the water and cool off. And the water's typically 78 degrees, somewhere around there in the summer. It might get a little bit warmer sometimes depending on how hot it is. And don't forget to wear those flip-flops to the beach or shoes, because the sand will be like walking on lava. And again, I'm not trying to scare people away. I'm just trying to point out some facts that I think a lot of people on YouTube skip over. They talk about Florida being perfect, me included. I love it. I say, get out and enjoy paradise. And it is my paradise, but paradise has its problems, and Florida certainly has its share of them. Speaking of hurricanes, something else that they cause, high insurance rates. And that's our third topic that a lot of people are shocked about when they move to Florida. The average price for a homeowner's insurance policy on a single family home is about $3,800 in Florida right now. And insurance premiums have gone up 70% in the past 5 years. So insurance is a major nightmare for many people currently living in Florida and many people thinking about buying in Florida. So if you live in a home somewhere east, like where I'm riding today, like over here, East Delray Beach, which is fairly close to the ocean, you're gonna pay a pretty premium for your insurance. We're talking $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 for some homes. Obviously these multi-million-dollar homes, probably a whole lot more. And insurance has been one of the biggest headaches for home buyers and homeowners here in Florida for the past 5 years.
Floridians continue to make tough financial choices. We see it each and every day here. And a new study shows more are deciding to go it alone and abandon their homeowners insurance.
Now I'm working with a buyer right now. We were looking at homes, and one of the major things that we had to keep looking at was how much was his homeowner's insurance going to cost him, because we were trying to watch his DTI, his debt to income ratio. When you're financing a home and you don't want to go over that DTI threshold, so you want to make sure that your monthly payment, your taxes on the house, the HOA, because listen, we're in South Florida, almost everyone has an HOA, although this neighborhood wouldn't. And then your insurance, to make sure that all those numbers combined don't go above your debt to income. And insurance on multiple occasions has pretty much ruined a deal for me with buyers. And with this buyer that I'm working with, we got so frustrated that he ended up finding a brand new home north of Palm Beach County, up in Stewart. It was a townhome in the price range that he was looking for. And he told me his quote for insurance last night, and it was about like $100-something a month. So probably about $1,300 a year, somewhere in there, maybe a little more, which wasn't bad. So brand new home, brand new roof, impact windows, insurance companies like that. So, but for older homes with older roofs, insurance is an absolute nightmare. And so a lot of people, when they come down here and they're home shopping, they kind of get blindsided when they find that beautiful house, and then all of a sudden they go out and get an insurance quote. So what you want to do is, one, work with a realtor like me, Paul Likens at True Florida Realty, and then let me have you talk to some of my insurance people and get some rough estimates before you go forward with putting an offer on that house. Let's see if it makes sense for you first. But as I said, if you had a home over here along the water, you are going to pay a lot of money for your homeowner's insurance. So that is one of the things that shocks a lot of people when they first come here. Even condos like over here, where you only need to get an interior policy, used to only cost $700, $800 a year, and even that's up into the thousands. So the good news is that a lot of more companies are coming into the state of Florida to offer insurance, so more competition means lower prices.
State leaders say Florida is coming out of the insurance crisis.
It's evident by just how many new insurance companies are now entering the market. ABC Action News anchor Nadine Yanis sits down with the president of the newest company based right here in St. Pete.
Also, there have been major companies that have requested rate cuts of 7 to 8%. And we have Citizens Insurance, which is the insurer of last resort here in the state of Florida, the state pool, and they've reduced their rates by 8.7%. So there is some good news on the insurance front for people, but all in all, it is still a major pain and something that a lot of people are just shocked by when they come here. So you see that sign back there that said local traffic only? Well, that's because that area, one, that little road floods a lot from King Tide, but also they just don't want a bunch of cars driving through there. And so that is our fourth topic that a lot of people don't realize when they come to Florida. They think, hey, it's Florida, it's a vacation, it's chill, small town like Delray. Not anymore. All the people came to Florida, and everyone lives here now, and there's not a lot of public transportation, even though I just said there's a freebie right there, golf cart ride, but that only gets you within the limits of Delray Beach. But everyone owns a car to get around South Florida, and with all those people come a bunch of traffic. All right, so let's talk about traffic in Florida. As I ride in the bike lane, they do have a lot of bike lanes, but it's at your own peril because, let's face it, South Florida drivers suck. Yeah, I'm gonna say it. I've lived here 34 years, and I don't know if it's the South Florida drivers or the people from out of state, but all I know is that traffic and driving in South Florida is a game of chance. Anytime on I-95, there's some idiot driving 100 plus miles an hour, whizzing past everybody. Well, let's not even talk about when there's a wreck, like on the turnpike, where you only have 2 lanes anyway, and it is just a complete nightmare trying to get anywhere when the turnpike has an accident. And then there's I-95. I've been here, like I said, 34 years. I used to ride my bike from West Palm Beach. I'm sorry, drive my car from West Palm Beach down to Pompano Beach every day for about 10 years. And it took about 45 minutes, I'd say, with morning traffic to get down there. Now, you're lucky if you can do that in an hour and a half because the traffic's just gotten so cruddy. You know, mind you, more and more people have moved here since I was working down there all those years ago. But, you know, even without that, it's just the traffic has gotten so bad. Even little roads, like here in Delray Beach, where it used to be easy to just cruise up and down, even right there on A1A by the beach, just lots and lots of traffic, and it's not gonna get any better. So I think a lot of people come to Florida expecting it to be, oh, it's a cute little beach town, not much traffic, and then they see that they hit Atlantic Avenue and there's a festival or something going on, and they're stuck in bumper to bumper traffic for like a half hour before you can get anywhere. And then of course, parking, that's a whole other subject. You should make a video about that. But traffic sucks, and then if you're going to a place like Miami, forget it. There's never a good time to go to Miami. Just traffic's bad, the driving's bad. It really is, folks. I mean, there's just, people are rude. I don't know, maybe it's just society in general. They cut you off, they don't use blinkers, no one's courteous anymore. It used to be a lot friendlier here. And you could tie that back into the insurance one, because the bad driving, the state of Florida has the second highest insurance quotes for car insurance in the nation. I think Michigan had #1. Florida's #2. At least we were when I last checked. So be prepared for high insurance premiums on your car as well as your house. All right, so let me throw a little positivity back into this video. Brightline is quick and it's fairly inexpensive. I think it's, some days you can catch it for $19 one way down to like Fort Lauderdale. You just gotta check, sometimes they have specials. But I recently did a video in West Palm about one of my condos I'm selling, and the Tri-Rail is cheap. You can take the Tri-Rail and it only costs you $6.50 or something like that, or $7 to go all the way to the Miami airport. I think it's like $6 or $8 both ways. And on the weekends, it can cost you as little as like $5.50 to get all the way down to Miami. All right, well, that leads us into our next topic, and that would be snowbirds. No, that's not a bird that flocks around in the snow. That would be your people from the Northeast who come down and have been coming down, well, since the 1920s to winter in sunny, warm South Florida, while everyone else up north is freezing. And when those snowbirds come down, they come down in hordes, and they really, really cause a lot of things to get backed up, from restaurants and movies to traffic that we just spoke about. Now, many of those people fly down and come to their winter vacation properties, and maybe they don't have a car down here, but the majority of them drive down, or they have their cars shipped here on a semi truck, and then they stay here from November through about April, which is what we fondly call season here in South Florida. Ask any local, they do not like season. Now, snowbirds bring a lot of money. I'm a realtor. Without snowbirds, half my business would be gone. I just closed one on Friday for my lovely clients who are going to be snowbirds. And snowbirds support all those local businesses and hotels and boutique shops and rental stores and all those places, all those small businesses all rely on those snowbirds because they bring their money down here, and they've been bringing it down here for years, and they spend it here in places like Delray Beach, Palm Beach, West Palm Beach, all over South Florida. And I don't think a lot of people realize that maybe they came here in the summer, which most people come when it's really nice out, but say they visited during the summer and they go, I want to live in Florida. And then they experience their first season here. Well, the grocery stores and everything are just jam-packed, along with all the traffic and everything else. So snowbird season, although it's great for the economy and it keeps people like me in business and many, many other businesses afloat through the year, it can still get a little bit annoying. Just a lot of people don't like it, so you have to be prepared for that. The cost of living in Florida. Many assume Florida, and for a long time it probably was, is cheap. You come down here, buy a cheap house, you live up in the Northeast where things are always way more expensive, and you come down to Florida and buy yourself a little cottage or condo on the cheap. And for many years that was the case, but not so much anymore, although condo prices have come way down. But it's not just homes that went up. Everything's gone up. Gas has gone up a whole lot in the past month, all right? We know that. And groceries have gone up, and supplies have gone up, and just everything. Clothes, even going out to eat dinner has gone up. It's just gotten really expensive. So everything in Florida and across the nation, for that matter, I guess, has gone up. But the cost of living in Florida can be pretty expensive. By the way, I did make a video last week. If you want to check out how to enjoy a day in Boynton Beach on only $50, that's not too expensive. I made a video, it was a lot of fun. You can go have breakfast, you can go have lunch, you can go do some fun stuff with nature, and you can even go on a tiki cruise up and down the Intracoastal waterways many times as you want and get a relatively inexpensive drink while doing so. I'll be sure to put the link for that video at the end of this video, and you can just click on it and watch it. I just heard something in those bushes run by when I rode my bike past it. Probably an iguana. All right, so number 7, folks, we'll make this one quick. Wildlife. Florida has wildlife. Yes, if you're moving to Florida, you need to be prepared that it has lots of different kinds of wildlife. There's iguanas. There are iguanas everywhere. Anywhere there's water, there's iguanas, except for the ocean. I don't see them too much there, but they could be. They're all along the seawalls. So, and then there are mosquitoes. Yes, we have mosquitoes. Lately, we've had foxes running around. Yes, we've had foxes running around. Or coyotes, not foxes, coyotes running around because I guess they don't have anywhere to live anymore. So lots of wildlife here in Florida. Up in northern Florida, they've been having, I think, black bear sightings, more black bear sightings up there. So there's wildlife, and yes, there's all sorts of lizards and all sorts of other things, and there's some flying insects, lots of them. So if you're coming to Florida, just know there's a lot of wildlife, and a lot of it you're probably not gonna like, but for the most part, you can learn to live with it. I have, and so have many others. What's nice about these homes, other than they're absolutely beautiful and they're right here on A1A in the ocean, and they got a spectacular view of the ocean, they have no homeowners association. All right, so this is a big one. This is the one that we get the most complaints about from people who moved to Florida and didn't realize, and that would be HOAs and condo associations.
On your side. I think we need to end HOA abuse. End it. Enforce the law.
A group of Floridians gathered at the state capitol today to speak out on what they describe as widespread abuse by homeowners associations.
So I'm not going to go too much into it. So we've made a lot of condo videos, but look, if you buy a house here in Florida, there's a 90% chance it's going to have a homeowners association. And any condo or townhouse is going to have one too, unless it's like, I don't know, a weird exception. And those places are going to be governed by people who live in your community. And they have all sorts of rules that they make. And whether you like those rules or not doesn't really matter because they've already made them. And so people buy a house or a condo and then they complain. Like, I didn't know I couldn't have a pit bull. I didn't know I couldn't have 3 dogs. I didn't know I couldn't have an army tank. Whatever it is, HOAs can be a real pain. And a lot of people just don't think before they buy. They should, because you're allowed to review the documents that tell you what the rules are for that community. So just do this. Whenever you're buying a house that's in an HOA or a condo association, make sure you read all of your documents and everything and talk to your real estate agent before you get done with your inspection period. And if you don't like what you see in the documents, then cancel the deal, because you can't change it. That's their rules. They're already made, and you're just going to get yourself in trouble afterwards. Number 9 is community. Many people who move to Florida find it extremely difficult to find community or find their tribe or even make friends. It's such a transient state with so many people who aren't from here, and people come and go. It can be pretty difficult, and I'll be honest, I've been here for 34 years, and I have friends and people I call friends, but not like my best friend that I grew up with since the 5th grade when I lived back in Texas. So like, I got one real best friend, and we've known each other our entire life, and we talk every week. He's a fellow real estate agent as well, and I mean, he's my buddy. He's like, ride and die. We did it all, man. We hung out, we had crazy times, grew up together, and then I moved cross country, and we started families and all that stuff. But it can be really difficult to make close connections. Not saying for everybody, but it's a little different. And so Florida can be a little difficult, and so often people find it just hard to connect with other people down here. I don't know why that is, but certainly not the first time I've heard it. And so that's just something to think about when you come here. You want to get involved, especially if you're elderly and you're moving into a 55 and older community. You definitely want to look at those communities carefully and see, what do they have? What do they offer? What kind of community? What groups do they have? What social support do they have? There's a lot of, people that play mahjong and it's golf. Like, I'm taking up golf, and I never golfed before, and I took my first lesson last week, and I'm already meeting all sorts of people who are like, hey, yeah, come golf with us. So, you want to get out and find something that you can get involved in, that you like doing, where you can meet other people so that you can feel you're part of community, because everyone wants to feel they're part of community. I mean, well, unless you're, what do they call it? A hermit. You want to be by yourself all the time. There are those who'd rather do that, but for a lot of people, especially elderly people, maybe they've lost a loved one, community is very important, that they have people they can hang with and support them and help them in need and stuff like that. So that is one that a lot of people find difficult when they move to Florida, is lack of community. Speaking of friends, I have about 34,000 on this channel, and I appreciate each and every one of you, but I could always use some more friends. So if you'd be so kind as to hit that thumbs up so YouTube knows you like my video, hit that subscribe button so I can have more friends. I'd like to have about 50,000. Heck, I'd like to have 100,000 friends. That would be fantastic. And yeah, leave a comment down below and tell me if you think this video has been helpful at all. All right, here's the last one that a lot of people mistakenly think it's always like when they move to Florida, but it's not. And that is vacation mode. Many people move to South Florida after they vacationed here, and they think, yeah, it's one continuous party. As Jimmy Buffett said, the tiki bar is open. But that's not the case. This happens when I go to the Florida Keys, and there's many times I wanted to move to Florida Keys, but the reality is there's not a lot of work down there, and it's not always vacation mode. You gotta work, and it's very expensive. Hence why I never moved to the Florida Keys. But Delray is just the same. You'll see when I come up here, the avenue is bustling. There's people out enjoying the beach, and there's bars, and there's restaurants, and the whole nightlife, and the whole beach vibe. But that's not the case. Behind all those tan, happy, smiling faces that you'll see up here, there's a bunch of people working. There's people working at the hotels, there's people working at the restaurants, there's people driving the golf carts. Everybody's working. And that is the reality, that you gotta work unless you're independently wealthy. which many are, but for most of us, like the firefighters here, you gotta work. I will say this, if you do have to work in Florida, it's a pretty nice place to work. I mean, get off work, I can go drive golf balls, I can go to the beach, I can enjoy lots of things, outdoor, nature. So not a bad place if you do have to work. So there are 10 things that some people might regret about moving to Florida. You've been warned. Well, you know how to reach a hold of me if none of that scared you off and you still want to move here. All my contact information is down below, and I would be happy to help you live here in beautiful South Florida. With that, wherever you are in the world, get out and enjoy paradise.